Hi guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So as I did say on the previous video, of course as well guys, potentially I can't access my phone at the moment because it's really going dodgy indeed, to be quite honest, and I've got some concerns over it, to be quite honest, so I'm going to go check it out of course as well. So I'm sorry, I'm going to have to live stream on here, for the time being, of course as well. So potentially today on this video, of course I'm going to give you a bit of update on some transfer news that's currently going on as well, as I did give me update on the last video with a build up to the West Ham game this weekend, of course as well, for Manchester United, and of course we have got to get back to winning ways, of course as well, after Manchester United have suffered four defeats in our last 5 games, of course as well. So potentially give you a bit of an update on some transfer news, of course as well, because potentially with Solskjaer's identified the key areas where he thinks Manchester United of course need to strengthen up, and I think he's keen on bringing at least 5 new additions to Manchester United this summer, and he's expected to orchestrate a big summer clear out of course, and obviously there's still some contract renewals to sort out, of course as well. So potentially he's identified the key areas where he thinks Manchester United need to strengthen up. We need a right back, we need a right winger, we need a couple of additions in that midfield, and I think we need a centre back of course as well. So potentially you can see the deficiencies in the squad. Obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team of course, and obviously he wants to build a team worthy of the club's history, of course as well, because potentially we didn't spend out in January, we didn't get as priority targets last summer, of course as well, because obviously our priority last summer was to recommend a new centre back to come in, which Manchester United didn't do, to be quite honest. When we do know a lot of money has been spent at Manchester United, a lot of money has been invested into our team of course. We've seen players come in, we've seen players leave, we've had different managers with different philosophies, of course, well, since Ferguson retired, and we've been playing catch up, for the past 5 seasons, something like that as well. Now, Solskjaer is our permanent manager, our 4th permanent manager, since Alex Ferguson retired, of course, as well. But potentially he thinks he wants to get about 5 new additions this summer. Maybe we should be sensible with our recruitment, of course, this summer as well. Maybe spend the money wisely, because there's quite a few players out there that are available for a reasonable figure, of course, as well. I think reportedly he's going to get around over £250 million or something like that to spend this summer. Obviously we're looking to hire a director of football to come in as well, to change the club structure and all that, because Solskjaer is obviously going to need backing in the summer transfer window, of course as well. But he's been in regular contact with Ed Woodward, of course, what players should stay, what players should come in, and what players should depart in the summer. So it is good that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, is emphasising his targets, but we've got to get the right players that have got the ability to elevate Manchester United in the next couple of years, of course. Well, it's good that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, is showing an interest in quite a few young upcoming talents, of course as well. So we are expected to see quite a few players leave Manchester United this summer, but potentially one of them players who's going to leave Manchester United this summer is obviously we know Ander Herrera. I'll get on to just again in a minute. We do know that Ander Herrera is likely to leave Manchester United this summer, because potentially he was demanding £200,000 per week from Manchester United, to remain loyal to Manchester United, and of course to sign a new contract with Manchester United. But reportedly Man United were in contract negotiations, we weren't willing to meet £200,000 a week, so potentially it's looking likely he's joining PSG on a free transfer at the end of the season. I think it's a 3-year deal worth around £170,000 a week, something like that as well. Ander Herrera isn't a £200,000 a week player, but he is a very good player. He's been a good servant to the club. This is his 5th season now at Manchester United, of course. I think he's made about 187 appearances for Manchester United in all competitions, but I've analysed his performances in these 5 years, especially since Solskjaer's come in. His form's been rejuvenated, he breaks up the play very well, he's very tenacious, of course as well, but these better options out there than Ander Herrera, of course as well. So it's a shame that we're going to lose him on a free transfer in the summer. Looking likely it's going to happen, but potentially we paid £30 million for him from Atletico Bilbao back in 2014, of course as well. So definitely we need some new additions into that midfield. I think we need a defensive mid that's fast and tenacious, of course, well, because I've got strong reservations about Matic. He's too slow. I've got reservations about him, and he's just too slow. Is the man Matic, plus he's aging up, of course, well. So I think we need a centre defensive midfield, that's more mobile, that can keep the ball better, and of course a centre defensive midfielder, that's fast and quick, of course as well. But potentially we've looked at quite a few we've looked at quite a few midfielders, you know, that we're interested in. Reportedly, we've identified a potential replacement for Ander Herrera, and that is Everton's Idrissa Gay. Now, he's been spoken about today in the media. Reportedly, there's been a few media outlets reporting on it as well. Idrissa Gay reportedly has done really well for Everton. He's been at Everton a number of years now. He is a defensive midfielder. He is aging up, of course. He's 29 years of age as Idrissa Gay. He is a Senegal international, of course, as well. But this is now his third season at Everton. I think all in all in the Premier League, he's made about 128 appearances in the Premier League. I think this was including his time he had with Aston Villa. I think he only spent one season there with Aston Villa. He also played for Lille before as well, you know, did Idrissa Gay. Potentially, I think this is now his third season now in the process with Everton. I think Everton got him back in 2016. I think Everton triggered the release clause in Idrissa Gay's contract of around just £7.1 million or something like that. And then initially he signed a 4-year deal with Everton. But based on his fantastic performances with Everton, potentially in February last year, Everton extended his contract until 2022 with the club as well. And reports are coming out saying that reportedly he's going to be available for a reasonable figure this summer as Idrissa Gay. And reportedly he could be available for just under £30 million could Idrissa Gay. And he breaks up the play very well. He's a good interceptor. He's very tenacious. He's got a lot of tenacity about his play, and he's done really well for Everton. Obviously, the majority of his appearances in the league have obviously, you know, come at Everton, but I think he did make about 35 appearances with Aston Villa, of course, as well. So there has been a lot of talk, you know, going on about that. PSG obviously inquired about getting him in January, but Everton didn't sell him in January, of course. PSG, I think, had a bid or two turned down from Everton for Idrissa Gay, of course, as well. So potentially, you could look at it this way. He's a cheaper alternative than Declan Rice, you know, to be quite honest, because obviously we do know that Declan Rice has also, you know, been a potential Manchester United target as well. He's available for a reasonable figure, but I think West Ham would want around £50 million for Declan Rice. Declan Rice is obviously a lot younger than Idrissa Gay, because Idrissa Gay, you know, is 29. Obviously, Declan Rice is only 20, of course. Well, so Declan Rice is a lot younger. He's one of England's youngest upcoming talents as well. And I think did say Man United are prepared to spend £50 million on Declan Rice. Again, he's a defensive midfielder. I think he can play as a centre back, but I think he's mainly a holding midfielder. Is Declan Rice. Potentially, he's been really good with West Ham this season. He signed a new deal with West Ham back in December. Of course, so he's at the club. He's under contract now with West Ham until 2024, of course, as well. But reportedly, he's growing and developing and flourishing under Manuel Pellegrini very well indeed. He's obviously a former Chelsea player. He's Declan Rice, as we all know. He graduated from their youth system for a number of years. He joined Chelsea's youth system at the age of 7. Obviously, you know, he got axed off at 14 and then initially joined West Ham's youth academy. So I think now he's been in the senior squad with West Ham a couple of years now, as well as Declan Rice, and I think he's made about 56 appearances for West Ham. But yeah, I think he'd be really good addition, you know, going back to what I said about Idrissa Gay. You know, he knows the Premier League, he's well Premier League proven, he's got good physical attributes, he can break up the play, he can pass the ball very well, he can intercept very well indeed. So I think he'd be a great addition, you know, if he came to Manchester United in the summer. He has got a contract with Everton until 2022, as I said, but potentially he could be available for just under £30 million this summer, could Idrissa Gay, of course, as well. So there has been talks about him going on in the media as well. Other potential Manchester United targets, you know, another target, you know, that could possibly replace Ander Herrera is Saul Niguez. Now, there has been a lot of talks going on about this Saul Niguez. We know he plays for Atletico Madrid. He's 24 years of age, of course, so he's still young. He's Spanish, of course. Well, I think he spent the majority of his career as Saul Niguez in Spain, of course, as well, you know, with Atletico Madrid, of course. I think he graduated from Atletico Madrid's youth system, of course. I think he's gone on to make over 200 appearances for Atletico Madrid. I think he feels unhappy with Atletico Madrid. I think he did say Atletico are prepared to offer him a new contract, of course, as well. Potentially, he's got a release clause in his deal with Atletico Madrid of around £128 million, so probably he isn't going to come cheap, you know, Saul Niguez. He said Manchester United have been interested, City have been interested, and he also said Barcelona have also been interested in Saul Niguez as well. But he's versatile, this player. You know, he can play as a defensive mid, he can also play centrally, he can also operate on the right as well. So he is versatile, this player, and I think he can fulfill the number 6 role. He can also fulfill the number 8 role, of course, as well. So there has also been talks about Saul Niguez, you know, going on as well. So do you think he'd be an ideal replacement for Ander Herrera, of course? Well, so it's good now that we're emphasising replacements, of course, for Ander Herrera, and obviously, you know, Paul Popper's future still remains up in the air, of course, as well. And he has been been a lot of talks going on about Paul Pogba, as we all know as well. Potentially, I think now he's literally, you know, built a great relationship up with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but now recent reports have said that it's now, I think now the relationship between Pogba and Solskjaer has broken down a little bit. I think it's slowly fading away, you know, to be quite honest with you. And I think Paul Pogba is intending on a new challenge this summer, and I think he's intending on making the move to Real Madrid this summer. Is Paul Pogba as well? Because obviously a couple of weeks ago, you know, the Spanish press reporting, you know, he's considering leaving United. He wants to go to Madrid this summer. He was speaking a lot about Real Madrid as well, you know, as Paul Pogba. So that just indicates that he's not intending on spending the rest of his playing career in England with Manchester United. Solskjaer himself has had negotiation with Pogba, and Solskjaer has basically said himself, you know, Solskjaer insists that Paul Pogba will not leave. He will remain loyal to Manchester United, and Solskjaer still feels as though he's got a big future at the club as Paul Pogba, of course, as well. Reports have been coming out, obviously saying Zinedine Zidane is a big admirer of the player. Zinedine Zidane's emphasising his targets, you know, of course, for this summer as well. I think one of them is obviously Eden Hazard. Obviously, you know, one of them is Eden Hazard, as we all know as well. I think they've been interested in Mbappe. You know, Sadio Mane's been on Zinedine Zidane's agenda as well. I think Zinedine Zidane's going to get around £300 million spending spree to spend at Real Madrid this summer, but he's a big admirer of Paul Pogba. Potentially, we do know that Paul Pogba's still got over 2 years left on his deal with Manchester United, so he's still in the contract here till 2021. There is an option of a further year as well, but there has been reports coming out saying that his agent, Raiola, of course, I think he's still in negotiations with Real Madrid over the move for Pogba. He's also been to Manchester to have the negotiations about a summer move for Paul Pogba, of course. Well, and if agreement is made in the summer, he'd get some of that money, you know, with his agent Raiola, of course. Well, but reports have been coming out saying that Real Madrid are preparing to put a bid in of around £125 million for Paul Pogba, of course, this summer. But if any offers do come in this summer, I think Manchester United are set to turn them down, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priority is to keep the likes of Pogba, is to keep the likes of De Gea, of course, as well. But Pogba's been one of our most influential players since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's coming. You know, I've analysed his performances, and mainly, you know, they've been really, really good. And when he's playing in the right vein and manner, he's one of the best midfielders in world football, you know, without a shadow of a doubt, indeed. But potentially, you know, recent reports have basically said that Man United have obviously are going to begin the process of trying to get him to a new contract at Manchester United. And obviously reports did say he was demanding an astronomical salary of £500,000 a week. This is what Pogba was demanding if he was to remain loyal to Manchester United, and if he was to commit his long-term future in Manchester United, he wants £500,000 a week. So at the moment he's on £300,000 a week, so he's demanding a £200,000 pay rise. Is Paul Pogba, of course. Well, as I did say, currently what Alexis Sanchez is currently earning at the club, which is obviously which is, you know, a lot of money. He's obviously our highest paid player, of course. I think it's about £350,000 a week, but could rise up to £500,000 or something like that. But it's totally affecting our wage structure in a bad way, as I do keep saying, because, you know, we've got other players now that are demanding, you know, quite a bit more money, of course, as well. So Paul Pogba, if we can, and that is the most essential thing indeed. And I think Man United want to get him to a new 3-year contract term, of course, as well. So potentially, I think he's favoured to go to Madrid this summer. He's heading into his 4th season now as a United player. We paid £89 million for him from Juventus back in 2016 to his former club in Italy with Juventus, of course. You know, he did have 4 good years, you know, Paul Pogba, of course, as well. So potentially his future is up in the air at the moment. Of course, is Paul Pogba's as well. And you know, we've got De Gea as well. You know, he's demanding that he wants £350,000 a week. You know, David De Gea, of course, as well. Again, he's demanding that he wants to be one of the highest paid players alongside Alexis Sanchez, of course. And potentially Man United are not willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage demands, of course, well. And this is why we haven't come to an agreement to get him a new contract at the moment. As we're still know he's under contract here till 2020 is De Gea, as we all know as well. But obviously, because last year we activated a 12-month extension, obviously Real Madrid have been long admirers of De Gea. Obviously, recent reports have said that PSG are reportedly interested in David De Gea, and reportedly they're willing to meet his £350,000, £200,000 a week. So he's demanding a £150,000 pay rise if he is to commit his long-term future at United, and if he is to sign a new contract. He's potentially the best goalkeeper in the world, and he's been here a number of years now. He's grown, developed, and flourished, you know, fantastically well. So potentially we do want to keep De Gea, but if we are forced to sell him in the summer, I think we have emphasised a couple of targets who could replace him if he does go in this summer, because obviously if he does end up leaving, obviously we'd rather cash in for him in the summer rather than let him go on a free the summer after, of course, as well. And with these targets we've emphasised is Everton's Jordan Pickford and Atletico Madrid's Blanc, of course, as well. And I do like Jordan Pickford. He's nowhere near on the same level as De Gea, but I do like Jordan Pickford. He had a good World Cup last summer with England. I think he's been very, very good for Everton as well. as well. I think Everton a couple of years ago got him for around £25 million from Sunderland. Well, initially he was loaned out a lot of teams, but Everton paid £25 million for him from Sunderland, of course. Well, you know, Jordan Pickford, he's got a contract with him with Everton until 2024, but I think he'd cost us around £60 million at least if we were, you know, if Everton were willing to do any business for him this summer. And Solskjaer was interested in Jordan Pickford, but only obviously if David De Gea does depart the club, of course, as well. And there's other reports coming out as well. I do want to give you guys an update on as well. Just move that. There's other reports, guys, I do want to give you guys an update on as well, because obviously we're looking to address our defensive deficiencies, and we need someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof in our backline, of course. And, you know, we're linked with quite a few defenders, of course. You know, Koulibaly rumours are continuing, as we all know. The rumours do continue to persist. Reports now from Italy are reporting that Manchester United have reportedly launched a £90 million bidding for Koulibaly, you know, a world record fee, because obviously if we come to an agreement to get him this summer, of course, as well, you know, potentially that he'd make him the most expensive defender in world football, obviously make him our most expensive signing as well. And you can see Liverpool addressed their defensive deficiencies with the signing of Virgil van Dijk for £75 million. Obviously he's the most expensive defender in world football at the moment, but the rumours do continue to persist about Koulibaly, of course, as well. You know, reports were coming out the other week. Ancelotti insisted that he wasn't for sale and that he wasn't going to leave, you know, Koulibaly. Obviously reports came out the other week, as he updated you on one of my videos, that reportedly, it allegedly said he'd switched agents, and reportedly now his brother's representing him, because reportedly he's considering leaving Napoli this summer. Of course, he's been at Napoli a number of years now, and he's grown, developed and flourished fantastically well. He's 27 years of age, he's Koulibaly, as we all know, and he's still got a lot of years ahead of him as Napoli's Koulibaly, of course, but he's a world-class central defender. You know, he'd be a great lead in our backline if he did come, of course, as well. And he recently signed a new deal with Napoli, so he's under contract with them till 2023. Napoli only paid £67 million for him, you know, was it 5 years ago from Genk, of course, as well. So there has been a lot of talks, you know, going on about that, because back in January, Man United had inquired about getting him. We were in talks with Napoli, but Napoli president confirmed they weren't willing to do any business, and Man United had 3 bids turned down for him back in January, of course, and obviously last summer we were heavily linked with him as well. But potentially reports have allegedly said we've launched a £19 million bidding for him. Reports came out the other week saying that Napoli were demanding they wanted around at least £130 million for Koulibaly, of course, well. But talking, what I was saying, we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer, not spend too much money on one player, of course, because I do keep saying there's players out there available for a reasonable figure, of course, nowhere near as good as the players, you know, like the likes of, you know, Idrissa Gueye, a reasonable figure, Declan Rice, reasonable figure. They're probably nowhere near as good as the likes of the Koulibalys or the Raphael Varans, but they are cheaper options, of course, as well. And Toby Alderweireld, you know, he's going to be available for a reasonable figure this summer. And, you know, recent reports have been coming out about Toby Alderweireld, as we all know as well, saying that reportedly Manchester United are interested in getting him this summer, and Man United are prepared to trigger his £25 million release clause he's got in his current deal with Tottenham. Tottenham in January activated a 12-month extension, as we all know, as well, and included this £25 million release clause, because obviously he's refused to sign a new contract renewal with Tottenham. So that just indicates that he probably wants to leave Tottenham, of course, as well. And obviously Manchester United were linked with Toby Alderweireld last summer. Obviously we couldn't come to an agreement to get Toby Alderweireld last summer. I will admit I have got reservations about him now. He is aging up a bit. He's just recently, you know, not too long ago, you know, turned 30 years of age. He has lost that yard of pace as Toby Alderweireld, but again, I think he'd be a good leader in our back line. He's well Premier League proven, of course, as well, and he's done really well with Tottenham, and he's gone to make over 150 appearances in all competitions for Tottenham, as well, as Toby Alderweireld, but he's refused to sign a new contract with Tottenham. And if Tottenham, you know, do get rid of him this summer, they've still got other options at the back line. They've got Davinson Sanchez and Jan Vertonghen, you know, that could combine in their back line, of course. And I think Alderweireld is keen on making the move to Manchester United this summer, so he could be actually one of our first signings, you know, this summer, could Toby Alderweireld, and he's available for just £25 million, because that's his current release clause, of course, as well. This is his 4th season, I think, at Tottenham. I think he's an ex-Southampton player, where he was initially on loan at Southampton. He played for Atletico Madrid. He began his youth career with Ajax as well, you know, they did Toby Alderweireld. So potentially Manchester United are heavily linked to him, but he's nowhere near on the same levels as the likes of the Raphael Varans or the Koulibalys or the Sergio Ramoses or the Diego Gunners. Them world-class central defenders, he's nowhere near on the same level as them, but he's a cheaper alternative, is Toby Alderweireld, of course. And I was talking about us being sensible with our recruitment in the summer, of course, as well. And Raphael Varane, I really like Raphael Varane as well. You know, there hasn't been recent reports about what I've heard about it, but Obviously, you know, there were a lot of reports coming out the other week saying that Manchester United were interested in Raphael Varane. It said Juventus were interested. It also said PSG were interested in Raphael Varane as well. And he's a really, really good player. His defensive capabilities are good. He reads the game very, very well. His stability is very, very good indeed. It's remarkable what he's achieved for a 25-year-old. You know, he's spent the majority of his career in Spain and Madrid. This is his 8th season now with Real Madrid. I think he's gone to make over 200 odd appearances in all competitions for Real Madrid. Obviously, I think he's won about 15, 16 major honours as well as Raphael Varane. We do know that he's got a huge release clause in his deal with Real Madrid of around 429 million, is it? Something like that as well. But it did come out the other week saying that Man United were in talks. He did come out the other week saying that reportedly Man United were in talks to sign Raphael Varane for around £100 million, but I don't see Real Madrid, you know, sanctioning him off this summer, because reports coming out from Spain the other week saying that he's considering leaving Real Madrid this summer, but he's only 25 years of age, of course, so it's quite remarkable, you know, what he's achieved. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him as Raphael Varane. You know, they're blending very, very well, you know, in our backline, you know, Raphael Varane and Victor Lindelof, of course, as well. So he's been a potential, you know, Manchester United target, of course, as well. And you've got the likes of Wan-Bissaka, you know, he's available for a reasonable figure as well, and I think he'd be a good upgrade, and I think he'd be the perfect successor to the likes of Valencia and Ashley Young. And obviously we do know that Valencia's on his way out of the club this summer, of course. You know, Valencia's been here 10 years, he's been one of the longest serving players at Manchester United, and he's gone on to make over 300 odd appearances as Antonio Valencia, as we all know as well. But potentially he's out now with a calf injury at the moment. Of course, he's initially lost his place in the team. Obviously the club opted against that decision to trigger that extension on his contract. So it's looking likely he's on his way out in the summer on a free transfer. And of course, we need a right back anyway, because Ashley Young is absolutely useless now. Ashley Young's way past it now. Don't get me wrong, he's been a good servant to the club, and over the years Ashley Young, you know, has been really, really good. And back in the day, you know, Ashley Young, you know, was a really, really good winner. But now he's been here about 8 seasons now. I think he's made over 300 appearances in all competitions, but he gets exploited far too easily. He loses possession far too easily, does Ashley Young. His crossing is absolutely woeful. I showed you know, yesterday his crossing was absolutely terrible again as well. So potentially we need someone young and ambitious. We need someone young and ambitious on that right hand side. And now Wan-Bissaka is one of England's youngest upcoming talents. He's only 21 years of age. Is Wan-Bissaka. He only broke into the Crystal Palace first team last year, of course. Well, I think he's gone on to make just under 40 appearances for Crystal Palace, of course, as well. But he's available for around 40 million. It did say Man United are preparing to put a bidding of around £35 million for Wan-Bissaka the other week, of course, as well. And I think his defensive capabilities are very, very good. And I think he's got the ability to elevate Manchester United in the next 2 to 3 years, or something like that as well. So I think he'd be perfect successor, you know, to Antonio Valencia, you know, guys. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, but Young needs to leave this club. I know we recently triggered a 1-year extension on his contract, but I think he needs to leave the club in the summer. I don't know if he will. He may leave when his 1-year extension expires, but by the time that 1-year extension expires, you know, he'd be nearly 35 years of age with Ashley Young, so he'll be officially finished with his footballing career anyway. But definitely, you know, has finished it now, you know, to be quite honest with you as well. So he needs to go, does Ashley Young, without a shadow of a doubt, indeed. But as I did say, if a new centre-back is to come into Manchester United this summer, it's looking like Eric Bailly is going to be on his way out as well, because I like Eric Bailly. I think he's got great potential. Of course, as you all know, he's out with a head injury at the moment, as well as Eric Bailly. But potentially, Solskjaer's preferred the likes of Smalling and Jones, you know, above Eric Bailly, of course. And Eric Bailly just made under 50 appearances for the club in the Premier League. Only scored that 1 goal. It's his 3rd season now at Manchester United, of course. And also, if a new centre-back is to come in, his future could be in serious doubt. Marcus Rojo, I think, could be on his way out in the summer as well, as I do say, because his career has been affected, you know, the amount of injuries he's had as a Manchester United player. So really, he has struggled for game time. His versatility is good at the back, but he doesn't really get chosen anywhere. But he has had a lot of injuries as a Manchester United player, as we all know. Of course, Darmian, I think he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time here. I think he's on his way out in the summer, of course, as well. Sanchez probably on his way out in the summer as well. Going to be hard to find a buyer, you know, considering his substantial amount of wages he's on. It's going to be hard to find a buyer for Sanchez this summer, because he's on a lot of money, and probably not many teams could afford to pay his current wages, or so may consider loaning him out, or unless Sanchez is willing to take some kind of wage cut. I do not know. He is age 30 now. He has lost that yard of pace, but he's been very inconsistent for Manchester United. He's lacked goals, so that just emphasises how ineffective he's been to the team and all that as well. And I think Solskjaer's lost faith and trustworthy in him, unless he can recover from this injury now and prove he's all on and start getting some form and start scoring some goals and protection provided and all that, then we may have a different opinion on him. But he's sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player, as Sanchez, and he's been here about 15, 16 months, of course, as well. As I said, Mata's probably on his way out in the summer as well. And to be fair to Mata, I'll give him all my credit. He's been a great servant for the club as well. Mata, he's aging up now. He's 30 years of age, of course. I haven't heard much rumours about him lately, but I heard the other week, obviously, as he updated you on that, Barcelona were in talks to get him on a free transfer at the end of the season. If I'm quite sure, in Manchester United, if I'm sure, have been in talks to get him a new contract. He probably won't be a new long-term contract because obviously he's 30 years of age now as well. Mata will probably offer him a new one-year extension or something like that as well. But I think he's made over 200 odd appearances for Manchester United, 200 odd appearances in all competitions. This is his 5th season at the club, as we all know. Obviously, we got him in 2014, but obviously his pedigree overall is good in the Premier League. He's won a lot. The only thing he hasn't won is the Premier League, but we paid £40 million to him from Chelsea back in 2014. We actually got him in the David Moyes era, so this is his 5th season at United. He had a 2.5, 3 years there with Chelsea, of course, well, but he may go back to Spain because he had a lot of experience playing in Spain when he was young. You know, Madrid, he began his career, you know, he had 4 years at Valencia playing under Emery, of course, as well, but yeah, he's being a good servant to the club as well, Mata, so he could be on his way out. I'm probably sure Lukaku's probably going to be on his way out as well. He may not be, but I think a lot of United fans want to see Lukaku leave the club, of course, as well. Because Lukaku, for me, you know, his goal scoring form is really, really good, and he's well proven in the Premier League. His pedigree is very, very good in the Premier League, of course, and he has scored a lot of goals, and he's scored quite a lot of goals for Manchester United. But I just think his finishing lets him down. He doesn't get enough of them runs in behind. He can't feed on people's passes that got the player through to him. He's too slow. His first touch concerns me, of course, as well. So potentially, maybe Lukaku isn't quite good enough. And we did pay £75 million for Lukaku, of course, as well. We paid £75 million for him. Swear at that. Yeah, we paid £75 million. I think I'll just get my drink right there. Yeah, we paid £75 million to him, so that was quite a bit of money spent on one player, of course, as well. So yeah, players are going to leave United this summer, of course, as I did update you guys earlier on as well. Give you a bit of the team news, didn't I, on the Manchester United versus West Ham game coming up this Saturday, 5:30 kick-off. This is a big game for Manchester United, and as I did say, it's essential that we've got to get back to winning ways in this game. Of course, we've lost 4 of those last 5 games, so we've been in a bit of a bad vein of form. The performances haven't been great, but yesterday night, we really stepped up the performance. I know we lost the game through an unfortunate Luke Shaw on goal, but we made it very, very difficult for Barcelona yesterday night, and the tie is far from over, because look what we did in the last round. We performed a miraculous comeback against PSG. We were 2-0 down from the first leg, and we come back to win 3-1 in the second leg. In that game, we had 10 first team players out, but I give my analysis on yesterday night's game, and I thought there was a lot of good individual performances yesterday night. You know, I think the only thing that let us down, we were lacking in that final third. We had a lot of the possession in the final third, but we just wasn't creative enough in the final third, and we didn't really create enough chances. I saw a stat of Ashley Young, as I said earlier on, his stats, and he attempted 11 crosses, not one of them reached one United player, and I think he must have lost a possession about 30 times, of course, well. So he is the problem, is Ashley Young, of course, as well. And I think he needs to be dropped, but I think we've definitely got to get rid of Ashley Young this summer. And obviously, the majority of United fans are calling for him to be sold this summer, of course, as well. Rashford, I don't know if he'll be playing against West Ham, to be quite honest, because I thought yesterday night he had 4 wasteful chances, I think, and he didn't look fully fit, Rashford, because obviously he just recovered from an ankle injury. He's had quite a few, injuries in these last coming weeks, as Marcus Rashford, and he hasn't been really playing to his potential best, of course, well, because we know he's like lightning, he's capable of getting them runs in behind, of course, as well as Marcus Rashford. So he wasn't crap, but he wasn't brilliant in the game yesterday night. But I think McTominay and Fred, should be playing against West Ham, to be quite honest, because McTominay is growing and developing in this team fantastically well, and last couple of weeks, his performances have been rejuvenated fantastically well. McTominay is playing between the lines well. He's showing that determination to win the ball back. He's feeding players ahead of him really, really well, and he did do that yesterday night. Did McTominay? McTominay played really, really well yesterday night. I'll give him all my credit. Fred played really, really well, and maybe he should be given another opportunity on Saturday, because for me, Fred, I said to you, I don't know if he's a long-term solution for Manchester United. That's what I currently said, because really he hasn't been given a chance. Let's be honest, Fred, he hasn't really been given a chance. But now that he's proven he can perform, he may be given more opportunities, Fred. To be quite honest, because yesterday night, I thought he was breaking up the play very, very well, Fred. I thought his support for the defenders were really, really good, and I think he's actually better. He's more mobile and better on the ball than the Nemanja Matic. To be quite honest with you, is Fred. So probably, Fred, he probably deserves another chance at the weekend against West Ham. But he played really, really well yesterday night. It was a toss-up between McTominay and Fred, for the man of the match, of course, yesterday night. Smalley didn't have a bad game either. He played quite well. Luke Shaw played quite well, but obviously we know Luke Shaw is suspended for the second leg against Barcelona, of course, well, so he's going to be a big, big miss indeed. But Barcelona were really, really poor yesterday night. Even though they won the game 1-0, they were really, really poor. Messi was poor. I think, they were really, really poor. I thought, Suarez wasn't good. I thought they were really, really poor yesterday, Barcelona, and we made them look bang average yesterday night. Of course, I thought we pressed them out of the pitch really, really well. We had them pegged back in their own half for a lot of the game. We were getting balls into decent positions. Every time Barcelona had the ball, they looked nervous. They were sloppy in possession, of course, as well. So Barcelona were really, really poor yesterday night. Probably it's going to be a different scenario when Manchester United, of course, go to the new camp, of course, as well. But Barcelona are not the team they used to be. They're not the team there was in the 2011 Champions League final, the 2009 Champions League final, when they did beat Manchester United, of course, as well. So all is possible, and this tie is far from over, of course. Well, we just didn't create enough chances, and that's the only thing, that let Manchester United down yesterday night, of course, as well. I wouldn't say Smalling pocketed Messi, but I say Smalling had a really, really good game. But Messi was really, really poor, yesterday night, to be quite honest with him as well. But going into this Manchester United West Ham game, this isn't going to be as easy as we think. Obviously we've got an injury crisis. West Ham have also got an injury crisis. I think it did say that West Ham could miss up to 5 players for this game this weekend, and I think names did get mentioned. I think Carlos Sanchez for West Ham is going to be out. I think it did say possibly Sammy Nasri is going to be out. What's the other one guy called, if I can remember? Mikel Antonio could be possibly out as well. I think it did say Winston Reid is going to be out for West Ham. Andy Carroll is probably going to be out for West Ham as well. Jack Wilshere, of course, as well. So they have got quite a few injury problems of West Ham. And, West Ham obviously are fighting to finish in the top half of the table. Of course, I think they're sitting 11th in the league at the moment. Obviously, they've been in a bad vein of form of late. I think they've lost 3 of their last 4 games of West Ham, of course, as well. But potentially, it's on Emmanuel Pellegrini's first season. They invested well last summer, did West Ham. I think they got about 10 new additions, last summer, did West Ham, of course. I think they were sensible with their recruitment, and they got 10 new players in. And there's some players at West Ham I do like. I like that Marco Orphanich. I think he's good. I think he was good when he was at Stoke, though, Marco Orphanich. Sammy Nasri, I haven't really watched him play for West Ham, of course, as well. Philippe Anderson looks pretty good for West Ham as well. I think they've got the likes of Lucas Perez, of course, as well. So, they did quite well in the window last summer. Of course, as well, did West Ham. But they are 11th in the league, of course. Obviously, the last meeting between Manchester United and West Ham, obviously, the reverse fixture, we lost by 3-1, of course, as well. I think the last meeting at Old Trafford was 4-0 to Manchester United, of course, as well. But we do know there's going to be some rotations made, of course. Obviously, as we all know, Ashley Young won't be participating on Saturday evening, because obviously he's suspended after he got sent off against Wolves the other week. So it's like that Diego Dalot will be playing at right back. We do know Luke Shaw, of course, has got he's suspended as well after getting his 10th bookable offence, of course. So potentially he's set to miss the next 2 league games. So he's set to miss the game against West Ham on Saturday evening. He's also set to miss the game against Everton in the league, of course. Well, and obviously he's missing the Barcelona second leg. So in all competitions he's missing 3 games on the trot. Is Luke Shaw, of course, as well. So he's going to be a big miss. So who's going to fulfil that left back position? Probably Marcus Rojo, I would presume, of course, as well. well. But we don't know about Herrera and Matic at the moment, if any of them are going to be available for the West Ham game. Herrera's got a knock. I think Matic has got some kind of muscular strain or something like that. I'm not too sure. But if none of them are available, obviously he's going to go with Fred, McTominay and Pogba as a midfield, of course, as well. Sanchez, of course, I think Solskjaer's confirmed his press conference that he should be part of the squad, against West Ham. So he probably will be involved against West Ham with Alexis Sanchez, because obviously he's just had a knee injury. Of course, well, I think he's missed the past 5 or 6 games, is it? Or something like that as well. Confirmed Valencia's still out with a calf injury. Bay, of course, is still out with a concussion. Diamond's obviously, still out as well. So we have still got an injury crisis, to be quite honest. And actually, Rashford could be resting this game because he didn't look fully fit yesterday night, Marcus Rashford. But we're hearing now, Marcus Rashford is demanding, he wants £300,000 a week from Manchester United, and quite a few United fans may complain about this, because maybe some United fans are still saying that he isn't quite there yet. He's nowhere near the same levels as the likes of the Mbappes and all that. And potentially, in my opinion, he's not as good as Mbappe at the moment, of course, is Marcus Rashford, but he's still very, very young. He's only 21 years of age, of course, and his performances overall under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer have been really, really good indeed. But he's demanding £300,000 a week, of course. He has attracted interest from Barcelona and Real Madrid in the past, as Marcus Rashford, of course, as well. But reports are coming out saying that Rashford is in advanced talks with Manchester United over a new 5-year deal. I think this deal is worth around £78 million in total over 5 years, I think, and reportedly he wants around £300,000 a week, does Marcus Rashford. So potentially, if this does process, of course, on his current deal at the moment, his wages are around £80,000 a week, so he could see his wages increase by nearly 4 times, of course, well, because he's currently on £80,000 a week at the moment. So reportedly he's demanding a pay rise of around 220,000, from 80,000 to 300,000, 220,000. He's demanding if he's to sign a new contract with Manchester United. His current deal ends in 2020 though, still with an option of a further year, of course, as well. So he's demanding £300,000 a week is Marcus Rashford, and this is initially what Wayne Rooney was on, when he was at the club, because he served 12 years at Manchester United. Of course, did Wayne Rooney, obviously our all-time leading goal scorer with 253 goals and all that, and he was on about £300,000 a week. So Rashford's demanding the same amount as what Wayne Rooney was currently on when he was at the club, of course, as well. I think potentially Man United are willing to give him it. Of course, as well. So it'll be interesting to see what lineup he goes with against West Ham, of course, as well. I'm confident, we'll beat West Ham. I've got concerns about our home form, to be quite honest, because we have seemed to be doing better away from home than we have been at home, to be quite honest. So that's giving me a bit of a concern a little bit. But we played really, really well yesterday night. I credit the performance. I'm just disappointed with the result, of course. But it's possible. Probably Solskjaer's confident. We can go over there and grab an away goal, of course, as well. So we can not concede early on at Barcelona, of course, as well. But they're a well-established club with great players. They've got loads of money. The stadium's very ecstatic. I think the stadium must hold about 90 or is it 100,000 supporters, or something like that as well. But we do know, guys, that Luke Shaw is definitely going to miss the second leg. Of course, he's going to miss the next 2 league games, West Ham and Everton, of course, as well, for his 10th bookable offence. Young's going to miss the game at the weekend. So I'm absolutely proud that Young is currently not playing, to be quite honest with you, as well. But I just enjoyed updating you on some transfer rumours today, of course, as well. I've already given you updates on Jadon Sancho. We all know that he's the club's #1 priority target. He's going to cost us around £90 million, of course, £100 million, of course, to get him in the summer, of course, as well. So potentially, I just wanted to give you an update on, the news about Idrissa Guyeye. Reports have been coming out today saying Manchester United have showed an interest in Idrissa Guyeye. We've identified him as a possible good replacement for Ander Herrera. Looking like Herrera's going to leave this summer. So Idrissa Guyeye being mentioned. He's aging up. He's 29. He's a Senegal international. He's well Premier League proven though. He's got good physical attributes. He breaks up the play well. He's tenacious. He's got a lot of tenacity about his play, and he's made about 128 appearances in the Premier League. Obviously, the majority of these appearances have obviously come at Everton, of course, as well. So Idrissa Guyeye, I think he'd blend in very, very well in our midfield, of course, if he was to come as well. So there has been a lot of talks about it, and he could be available for just under £30 million this summer. So so that's he's available for a reasonable figure this summer. PSG didn't get him in January. PSG could have convinced Everton to sell him in January, of course, as well. So yeah, Manchester United reportedly showed an interest in Idrissa Gay. Wanted to break the news about Koulibaly again, of course, as well, because obviously now reports coming out from Italy saying allegedly Manchester United have launched a £90 million bidding for Koulibaly, of course, as well. So the rumours do continue to persist about Koulibaly. I don't know if we'll get him in the summer. It's just probably a lot of rumours, that are going on, to be quite honest with you, as well. Just quite a lot of rumours, going on, to be quite honest with you, as well. But yeah, I feel Solskjaer's the right man for Manchester United, even though we've lost 4 of the last 5 games, it's just potential. We've just seemed to have a bit of problems, and we've gone off the boil, since he's actually got the job permanently, Manchester United have just seemed to go off the boil a little bit, of course, because we were doing fantastic when he was interim manager, of course, before he got announced permanent manager, he was doing really, really good. But in these 3 or 4 months or so, we've done mainly really, really well, of course. Potentially, as I said, when Solskjaer first came in, everyone ruled us out again that top 4, because Manchester United were 11 points behind top 4 when Solskjaer first came in, and of course, well, I don't think we win the Champions League, so we've got to hope for top 4, of course, and we want Champions League football for next season, because in that aspect it'll make us have more of a competitive summer transfer window, of course, well, if we do want to get the players to the highest level. So for me, what players would you want to come into Manchester United this summer? Do you think Idrissa Gay would be a good addition to come to the club in the summer, of course, as well? I'm actually not even playing FIFA 19. I just need to get on here to stream to you guys, because as I said earlier on in my previous video, onto this video as well, that my phone is going dodgy, so, and I can't, I ain't got what else, where I can go on live stream. I haven't got a computer also. So I've just got to have to do it on for here for the time being, until obviously, guys, I get that fixed, of course, as well. So all I'm being on the stream now, 40 minutes, of course. But yeah, Solskjaer, the right man for Manchester United, of course. There's still lots of hard work to be done. It's essential we get the right recruitment in this summer. We've got a board that can invest, who Solskjaer wants to bring in the summer as well. But the huge task is going into next season. That's going to be the huge task. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's now expectation levels will be, of course, in his 3 years, he signed a 3-year deal, of course, will be to get us back to that powerhouse as he was under Ferguson, and get us back up there, competing, winning trophies, of course, as well. But we're not going to be able to do this till we get rid of the right players and also get the right recruitment in the summer, of course, as well. Still essential, we've got to get a director of football to come in, as well. A few candidate names have been mentioned about that. There was talks about Edwin van der Sar the other day. Admitted he could return to the club. Edwin van der Sar, he's not maybe yet, but maybe in the future. He's obviously CEO at Ajax at the moment, as well. But he knows about the club a little bit. He was a good goalkeeper for 6 years at Old Trafford, of course. So I think Paul Mitchell's been mentioned in the past as well to fulfil that director's role. So that's the most essential thing Manchester United, of course, have got to do, as well. So as I did say, what do you think to the Idrissa Gay news? Everton already paid about 7.1 million for him. Everton triggered a release clause in his contract, of course, and based on his performances in his 3 years or so with Everton, he got awarded, he got his contract renewed in February of last year until 2022. Did Idrissa Gay, of course, but yeah, he's tackling. He's a good tackler. He's a good interceptor, as I said. But yeah, do you think he'd fit the bill at Old Trafford? And that is the question, of course, as well. So anyway, drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribing to my channel. And before I go, I did a video earlier on, the one before the other one wrong, so if I can try my best, I'm going to delete that initial video. When I'm not on the screen at all, I'm going to try and delete that official video, of course, as well. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe, as I said, and take it easy. God bless. See you all again very, very soon, guys.